The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour.
ChatGPT did become the world's most downloaded non-gaming app.
Literally the job of everyone in government to address the media and the public.
What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on Zandy Silva as the deputy PLP leader?
A community that can't feed itself is a community that...
What you may not know, though, is that Bermuda, we have a connection with Epstein, too.
Things that people are doing right, the youth are doing right, that is not being advertised enough.
When you see your access to U.S. dollars disappear, that's when you have a problem.
You've got a town in the UK with a similar sized population. This place absolutely outshines it.
It's Tuesday, the 21st day of April, 2026. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamel Hartman. How's everyone feeling today? Everyone's likely on a more awake time zone than me, so hopefully you're all awake and excited about the second day of the traditional work week. Hopefully everyone's recovered from whatever festivity some of you may have taken, on yesterday. I'm not, promoting anything, but no judgment from me. No judgment from me. Do what you do. But hopefully everyone's good. Honestly, I do hope everyone is good. We've got Anika Shields says, good morning, TVH family. James Burgess says, good morning to the Daily Hour team show. I'm watching and listening to your members. Have a wonderful show. Thank you. And he said he had a beautiful day. Yes, it was James' birthday yesterday. And yes, we hope you did have a wonderful birthday yesterday, James. All right, folks. Well, greetings, everyone. And thanks for being as part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome a very special guest from Freisenbruch for this segment of Get Insured. We've got Angela Bruce-Heath coming on. Folks, we're talking about pensions. Yeah. It's like a 5-minute pension checkup. So just going to discuss how we can take control of our financial future. Here's the thing. I am telling you no lie. I could not tell you the last time I checked my employee pensions. I do it like probably once a year or once every couple of years. But I'm looking forward to this conversation because I guarantee most people are like me. So I appreciate these kind of conversations because it's really our money. It's our retirement. We should know what's going on. So Angela Bruce-Heath coming on from Freisenbruch to discuss that with us. And the Daily Play, folks. Daily Play is going to be a Remember When today. All right. So a little bit of Bermuda, remember when, what they call it, like throwback something or remember. Yeah. You get me. So hopefully you have your thinking caps on. Audience, don't forget to subscribe, right? On our website, dailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. We've got a conversation to have. We've got a conversation to have. And that conversation today, folks, is what are your thoughts on the government adding 2 new vehicles for the governor and premier right now? What are your thoughts on the government adding 2 new vehicles, the governor and the premier right now? Because for me, this is about priorities. Right now, people are seeing the reports, right? They've seen the confirmation in the news that 2 new vehicles were being added to the government fleet, one for the governor and one for the premier. But at the same time, we're seeing buses breaking down, routes being canceled, people late for work, students stranded. In fact, just recently, reports in the Royal Gazette shared that fewer than 50 buses were running across the island due to mechanical issues, with dozens of cancellations in a single afternoon. So naturally, people are like asking, how does this make sense? If the government vehicles are justified, and there may be reasons like security, reliability, official duties, right? Timing matters. The timing feels a bit off to some people. From the public's perspective, it looks like leadership is being upgraded while public services are struggling. And that's where frustration turns into something deeper that we discussed recently. The trust issue. Now, to be fair, the government and some of their supporters have said that more buses are on the way. It was reported in the Royal Gazette that 20 new electrical buses are expected soon to help to stabilize the system. But here's what gets me about this. People don't live in future promises. Today's reality is missed buses, long waits, and unreliable service. So it's a question of, well, why not fix the system people rely on first before upgrading those two vehicles, the BMWs, yeah. But also there's another uncomfortable question, folks. Why aren't Bermudians louder about this? Is it due to frustration, fatigue, a feeling that speaking up won't change anything? Or have we become so used to issues that we just move on to the next event, the next holiday, the next party, the next distraction? Folks, accountability doesn't only come from the government. It comes from us too. And if people don't consistently demand better, then good enough becomes the standard. Folks, the questions of the morning: what are your thoughts on the government adding 2 new vehicles for the governor and premier right now? And we've got a poll question for you that we'll share with you right after this break.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
All right, folks, this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. We are asking you this morning, as just mentioned, the premier, the governor, 2 new vehicles for those positions. What are your thoughts on the government adding 2 new vehicles for the governor and premier right now? Right now. It's not saying that we shouldn't have gotten the vehicles, but right now, when we don't have enough operating buses on island. What are your thoughts on that? And yes, good morning, Suzanne Ingham says, good morning, Jamal. It's super awesome Tuesday to be in TDH house. And a good morning to you. Suzanne Claire Warner says, good morning, Jamal. Good morning, Bermuda. Good morning to you as well. What are your thoughts, though? What are your thoughts, folks? And here's your poll question. And it's 1 for yes. Just type 1 in the comments for yes. Just type 2 for no. The poll question is, do you think the government should have made sure we had new buses first? That's 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you think the government should have made sure we had new buses first? Now, let's go to the comments, because Dr. Anthony Richardson says, yes, we have problems, public transport, like other countries. Still, our heads of state need dependable and safer vehicles for themselves and for overseas official guests arriving and traveling within Bermuda. I don't disagree with you, Dr. Anthony Richardson. I don't disagree that we need, properly functioning vehicles. I think the question this morning is about timing. Is right now the time? I think if we're honest, some people will say, well, we've got the king visiting, so that's why we needed a proper car, right? That may be the excuse or reason that's not being said out loud. Dr. Anthony Richardson says, how would it look for Bert or the governor? Bert is the premier, folks. Collecting the prime minister of Barbados in a taxi or car with bad shocks? I completely get you. But then there's the other argument that a lot of people love to say during this time when we have these conversations is former premiers in the past used to ride their mobilettes. And for anyone too young to know what a mobilette is one of those, it's almost, a mobilette's almost like what an electric bike is now, but it had gas, right? You could pedal it and, use the throttle. Am I aging myself? Nah, I'm not going any further. You all can tell them, the young folks watching. I'm still young, I think. But anyway, Suzanne Ingham says, I'm not in agreement about the two new vehicles. Are they really needed? I don't think so. We need that I think she means money to go elsewhere to help our people. Let me be very clear. I don't think I have a problem with the two new vehicles. My problem is right now is the question. Like at this current time, are they necessary? Are they necessary at this time? I don't think the poll's working, you all. I don't know what's happening. I see you're commenting, but let's see. Oh, it is working. Sorry, my bad. It's working. So it looks like 60% say yes, 40% no. So it's a tight race right now. It's a tight race. The poll question, if you're just tuning in, it's, do you think the government should have made sure we had new buses first? It's, what's that saying? A chicken, egg, which comes from, is that similar? You let me, you're the smart ones. We've got the question of the morning audience is, what are your thoughts on the government adding 2 new vehicles for the governor and premier right now? That is your question. If you've just tuned in, 2 new vehicles added to the government fleet for the governor of Bermuda and the premier of Bermuda, but also at the same time, we're dealing with issues with public transportation where we don't have enough buses operating to fulfill the schedule. And yes, the government has said that new buses are on the way to, pretty much help the system. But is it too little too late? Let's go back to the audience. Charles H. Jefferson II says, the timing couldn't be more worse for the government. But it all goes back to the faith and trust people have in the government that needs are being put before those of elected officials. People just don't feel it. Okay. Gerald Bean says the buses are for the king's arrival. The cars are the buses, Gerald. The buses are not here yet. The cars are here. Do you mean the cars? Dr. Anthony Richardson says no time is ever a good time. Dr. King would disagree. Dr. King said that it's always the right time to do the right thing, right? So I think we may disagree on that, Dr. Anthony Richardson. We've got Suzanne Ingham says, fix the shocks, then go drive around. Now, see, I disagree with that because if the car needs repairs, sometimes it makes more sense to just get a new vehicle. We don't know necessarily what may be the issue with the current vehicle. So we have to be fair in our reflection in this as well, right, audience? We've got WKD Lama says, not a problem they got cars. It doesn't mean that the buses are not a priority. It is easier to obtain the cars. See, I agree with this. It likely is much easier to get 2 cars than it is 15 to 20 buses. However, we also have to look at it like this. As I said to someone yesterday regarding this situation, these buses should have been here before we got to the stage of not having operating buses. That's my issue. And it's not a good look. This is up, to be honest, audience, this is about optics. This is about optics. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. James Burgess says every leader should have a better vehicle in the first place. Well, what's a better vehicle look like? What's that look like? Let's see what the poll's saying. I don't know. This poll thing, you all. Let's see what the poll's saying. Oops, I think I messed it up, folks. I think I messed up the poll. I think I may have messed it up. My apologies. I'm new to the polls, folks. Alrighty, let's go back to the audience. What are your thoughts on the governor adding 2 new? I'm saying the governor. Sorry, governor. It's not you. The government adding 2 new vehicles for the governor and premier right now. What are your thoughts on that? And keep your comments coming. We've got Sean Smith says, just a point of clarification, are they adding or replacing the existing vehicles? What is the statement of the current vehicles? Forgive me, I just didn't. Well, according to CNN, just going to read from that report. Big up to Trevor and team. The government is aware of images circulating of official vehicles and can confirm that 2 new vehicles have been added to the official government fleet as part of a long overdue refresh. The Crown Car and GP1 have been out of service for several years, and the new replacement vehicles ensure that government can appropriately fulfill official and national functions. This refresh of the fleet forms part of a standard asset management process across government, as is consistent with fleet updates underway in other departments. This includes the introduction of EV and other environmentally friendly vehicles. It should be noted that these vehicles are budgeted for under the Ministry of Public Works and Environment. It's important to note that the provision of official vehicles for the holders of these offices of the governor and premier have been established practice across successive administrations dating back several decades. These arrangements exist to support the execution of official duties and national responsibilities and are neither unprecedented or exceptional. So that's what the government said in response to TNN. All right. Actually says there have been multiple bus orders since the old GP1 Crown cars ran out of service. Absolutely, but still not enough to avoid the problem we're in today. That's the point. Still not enough to avoid the problem that we face today. Dr. Anthony Richardson says, a case of guns versus butter. Both may be needed, but hard to decide which comes first. Fair. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. But again, Dr. Anthony Richardson, remember yesterday when I said, sometimes, regarding the parking, perception and reality, we're emotional beings. I completely understand. I understand the need and why the government would upgrade. Right? I get it. But we also live in a time where perception is people's reality, right? You've got people who, as I mentioned in the opening, they're late for work, they're missing appointments because functioning buses are not working. We also have the visit of the king. Still timing, right? I don't think any of this happened just overnight. Obviously, those buses have been on oil, and these buses just happened to break down prior. Again, it's not a good look in a time when people don't trust the government. And this stuff is avoidable and preventable. Now, we don't know, what if someone today, and I hope not, I'm going to knock on the wood around me, somebody in the audience today can literally, their car can break down. No fault of their own. And because their car breaks down, they now have to use the bus. Well, the buses are broken down. Point is, the premier or governor's vehicle breaks down, they are not using the bus. I hope that makes sense as to why this looks unfair. This is not meant to be anti-government conversation. It's really meant to highlight something that looks and feels wrong, that could have been preventable. Make sense? Claire Warner says, take that money and use it for people in need. Jude says the government has poor maintenance schedules, so they will always be doing things at the last minute. Prior preparation prepares you for better performance, even for vehicles. What's that quote? Prevention, ounce of cure. You know what I'm talking about. You know that quote. I don't remember the exact way it goes, but you get me. I think that's where we're headed with this as well. Does that make sense? We've got Gerald being clarified. He said the cars are for the king's arrival. I mean, I would think so. I would think they're not going to have His Majesty rolling around and broken down vehicles, and I mean that respectfully, like vehicles that are not in the best shape. They're just not, regardless of how you feel about the king and the king's visit. That's just not something that they're going to do. Yeah. We've got Molly BDA says cars, buses, different budgets. Why is this an issue? And regarding the buses, the DPT budget is piecemeal. They spend the money runs out, then got to wait for the next budget to spend again. It's clear that's what's happened with the latest bus order. Why is it an issue? It's an issue because people can't get to work. And there are same people who say they can't get to work or make appointments or get to school, see two new cars coming in. Yes, different budgets, but it's a good look and feel. That's why it's an issue. We can't just turn a blind eye because this happens. That's what we spoke about in the beginning, folks. About standards. It's like in the United States, right? They can't find money to help the poor or for the school system, but they can find billions for war. Governments find money for what they want to find money for. So let's not be disrespectful and act like this shouldn't be an issue. Governments can take funds and put them anywhere they want. So yes, this is an issue. Whether we agree with it or not, it's not only an issue, it's something that if people cared enough, would not happen. Because we're passive and we think it shouldn't be an issue. The bigger issue than this, that only a few people have mentioned this morning, is the maintenance issue. Do we have enough mechanics to maintain these buses? Do we have enough people to ensure that the buses are running how they should run? This is an issue, whether we like it or not, and whichever side we fall on, it's an issue. Bottom line. We've got, IFES says, it would never be enough, can recover from austerity measures post-2008 recessions. We've got, I'll go through these last few comments because we've got to get through to our very special guest, Angela Bruce-Heath. We've got a conversation about our pensions this morning, folks, from Freisenbruch. We've got too many potholes ruining buses and cars. Oh, let's not start that one. That's a show in itself. I appreciate that, James Burgess. Dorian says, presently, the lack of buses on the road is due to maintenance. Somebody said it. Maintenance issues. Yeah. They're cheap Chinese buses, and many have steering column issues due to our roads. Please contact PTB. In fact, no, we don't need a fact check. They've discussed this publicly, Dorian. This has been discussed publicly. I don't think you need a fact check. Suzanne Ingham, she just coming to help a brother out. An ounce of prevention is better than cure. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier. You know, I'm not the swiftest, but that's why you're the smartest audience. Manuela says, right now, just as it takes time for buses to arrive, it would be similar for cars. Have they already been ordered? Ordered? Aren't they on island? Well, that I took from the article I read on TNN. Charles Jefferson II, he says, this isn't the focus of today's discussion, but are any of the buses that are broken, the new electric ones? Are we purchasing good quality buses? See, you all are having a conversation now. These are good questions. Sean Smith says, in the past, the Queen's personal cars were shipped for her visit and shipped out when she left. Good point. You think they're... All right, folks. This is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express. I'll go through this final few comments, but we've got to go. It's Tuesday, so we've got a Bermudian Icon segment as well. CC Madeira says, I have no problem with the new cars. And we've got Suzanne Ingham says it's very poor management. We've got Bermuda Horse Trainer, BDA Horse Trainer, 8942 says, king or not, ideally fix shocks like we all do and eventually replace luxury cars with luxury SUVs with better security, longer life vehicles. Fair enough. Folks, this has been an awesome conversation. If you've appreciated this discussion and you are streaming with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Instagram, please give a love, like, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, colleagues, let everyone you know who has access to the internet. This is where we have community conversations and we try to solve problems. At the end of the day, I think we would all agree that new cars were probably needed, but some folks feel the buses are a priority. Some people feel the cars are a priority. I don't think there's necessarily a right answer. I think, again, this comes down to look and feel. All right, let's show Titan Express and secure some love, and then we'll go to our Bermudian Icon segment.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Titan Express delivers safe, professional, and reliable transportation and tours across the island. From island tours to cultural experiences, they set the standard. And Secure is your go-to for property management, waste management, and residential and commercial services. Visit securebda.com. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is their commitment to you.
All righty, folks. And if this is your first time tuning in, every Tuesday, we have a segment called Bermudian Icons. This segment came out of last year. People were quite upset that no one was named a national hero, and the government said they'd be naming a new national hero every 10 years. We had former Premier, the Honorable Ewart Brown, who pushed for this while he was in office, saying that, he gets why people are upset, but not everyone is going to be a hero. There are going to be people who do heroic things, but not necessarily a hero. And we took that opportunity to create this feature with the likes of Teo Dill and Teray Tull, and it's called Bermudian Icons. And we, recognize some amazing people so far. And here's today's Bermudian Icon, brought to you by our friends at ZipX.
Welcome to TDH's Bermudian Icon series, brought to you by the great folks at ZipX.
Leilani Nesbitt is a 24-year-old professional footballer who plays as a midfielder for the Chicago Stars of the National Women's Soccer League and the Bermudian national team. Leilani built her career with a rare combination of international pedigree, academic excellence, and roots in Bermuda. She attended Florida State University, where she won not one, but 2 NCAA tournaments and earned a bachelor's and a master's degree, speaking to her athletic ability and her academic determination. After her soccer career at FSU, Leilani was selected as the 10th overall pick in the first round of the 2024 NWSL draft. This was a historic moment, not only for her, but for Bermuda. She was the first non-American player chosen in the 2024 draft and signed a 3-year contract with the Chicago Red Stars. Now, before her rise in American football, Leilani attended school in East Sussex and played for Brighton and Hove, laying the foundations of a career that would eventually span continents. Her international journey began in Bermuda, but in every chapter of her story, Leilani has continued to carry Bermuda with her, onto college pitches in Tallahassee, into professional arenas in Chicago, and onto the international stage, where she continues to play with great distinction.
And that's today's Bermudian Icon series, brought to you by the great folks at ZipX. Now back to the show.
All righty. Leilani Nesbitt. I don't think we celebrate our folks enough, folks. I don't. She has accomplished things that Bermudians just haven't done, men or women. Winning national collegiate titles in the United States. Not everyone gets to do that. That is a huge feat. So congratulations, our latest Bermudian icon, our youngest Bermudian icon so far, Leilani Nesbitt. All right, audience. Days of the year. Days of the year. I got to give you one, huh? It's quite a few. We've got, National Bunion Day. I don't think we need to celebrate National Bunion Day. I don't want to know about your feet or anything. We've got National Library Workers Day. We've got National Chocolate Covered Cashews Day. We've got World, what's that? Curlew Day? Yeah, it's Big Word Day. We're not going to do that. We're not going to get into big words. You know, I'm limited. We're not going to do that. But it is World Creativity and Innovation Day. So I want to ask you all, what is, when it comes to creativity or innovation, what innovation do you enjoy the most? I'll go first. I'll give you an idea. I'll go first. What innovation I enjoy the most? No one even thinks of this, right, anymore because it's so normal, but the automatic car. Back when I got my license, I got it in a stick shift, right? But the automatic car, folks, the best thing ever, because I just have to put my foot on gas and go and stop. All that stuff that I was going through with my driving instructor back in the day, people today won't know about that. But to me, that's one of the greatest pieces of innovation. Oh, and the AC in the car. Also, I'm going to say the cell phone. It's got its pros and cons, right? The cell phone. Obviously screen time, but the fact that I can do so many things on my cell phone. Here in Vegas this week, I've just been learning, like, you've got lit people who are doing full movies. Like some of the movies you enjoy being done on cell phones, like full interviews, people who are taking things and getting network deals from their cell phones these days, folks. I'm not lying. Like I swear to you, right? To the cell phone. And another one, this is a touchy one in Bermuda right now, but rideshare. Bermudians treat like rideshare when they come to the US like Walmart. You know how Bermudians just have to visit one? Oh, I'm like, all right, you tuned in. You know, I don't mess with Uber. I'm a Lyft guy myself. I banned some years ago. But those are some of my key innovations. What are some of yours? What are some innovations that like you were really excited about? We've got Mark Arthur says Mac and gaming PCs. Okay. Those are his big innovations. He likes Mac and gaming PCs. All right. What else, audience? We're going to take a quick break. After this break, we're going to come back. Like I said, we've got a very special guest, Angela Bruce-Heath. We're talking about pensions, folks. We're having a quick pension checkup and just to help us take control of our financial futures. I just want to know if you all are like me in checking your pensions. No judgment. I just love company sometimes.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
What lasts isn't what you buy, but what it becomes. With the HSBC MasterCard credit card, every spend quietly adds to a story shaped by intention and offers what matters most. Support that meets you where you are. Protection that preserves what you choose. Confidence for the unexpected. Peace of mind wherever your story leads. Start your next chapter. Use your card today. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
What if the age that really matters isn't the one on your ID? You probably know your chronological age, the number of candles on your last birthday cake. But there's another kind of age that may be even more important, your biological age. This reflects how old your body truly is at the cellular level. It is influenced by your genes, your environment, and the choices you make every day. Two people can both be 40 years old on paper, but one may have the body of a healthy 30-year-old, while the other is biologically closer to 50. The difference? Lifestyle choices on nutrition, sleep, stress, exercise, and exposure to toxins. That means you have some control over your biological clock, and that's exactly what makes it so powerful. Because when it comes to aging, it's not just about living longer, it's about living better. Want to know your predicted biological age today? Download the free Carrier Genetics app and fill in the lifestyle questionnaire.
You wanna come get some? Playing around, playing around. I got it, no doubt.
All right, welcome back to the Big Show. Jamal Hartman here. This is Daily Hour, brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical House, Linda's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, do not forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, before we went to break, it is, what is it, like World Innovation and what did I say it was? It's World Creativity and Innovation Day. Yeah, that's what it is. So we asked, what are some of your favorite innovations or things that you have come about? And we've got Ramon Smith says the internet. Yeah, we would not be having this conversation without the internet. Yeah. You've got Charles H. Duffs II. He says flat screen televisions, especially now that they're connected. Oh, and the internet. Well, smart. I think they mean smart TVs saying we're connected, right? The smart televisions. The airplane says, Sean Smith, yeah, I think we take for granted that the airplane is not as old as we think. We got around by boat. All right, folks. Well, without further ado, let's give a warm TDH welcome to our very special guest for the day. We are talking with Angela Bruce-Heath from Freisenbruch. It's getting short, and we are talking about a conversation. We're having that conversation, folks. Because I'm going to ask you a yes or no as we bring her in. When was the last time you checked your employee pension? Like, when was the last time? This is not a judgment zone. Seriously, it's not a judgment. I think this helps our conversation. As we welcome our very wonderful guests in, let us know. But let's give a warm TDH welcome to Angela Bruce-Heath. Well, sorry, calm. They're going crazy for you. Sorry. Happy Tuesday to you, Angela. How are you?
Happy Tuesday, Jamal. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. I feel like people are judging me because they're not really telling you when the last time they checked their employee pensions. But before we even jump into that, I got to ask you, World Innovation Day, what's something that you were just happy and excited that was innovated?
I'm happy and excited about ChatGPT and Copilot, so the whole AI thing that's going on.
I'm glad you said that. You know why? Because, we're at this conference in Vegas, and we have conversations about AI all the time on this show. And the majority of the people, this audience, say, oh, I don't like AI, I don't like it. And one of my colleagues came out of a session yesterday, and they said, you know what's crazy? Spell check is AI. And most people who use a computer use spell check. They said spell check's AI. And it really got me thinking that I don't think we dislike AI. We are afraid of what AI may do to limit us. And the best way to reply to that, folks, is to learn it. But thank you for saying that, because I didn't even think to say AI. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Right. So let's jump into today's discussion. So before we get into the meat of it, just tell the audience a bit about your background and what it is that you do with Freisenbruch.
Sure. So I'm a senior pensions and life advisor. So I work with employers and help them set up their pension plans for their employees. Also hold education sessions for employees. And I also work with individuals setting up their retirement plans and assisting them with choosing any investment elections and helping them to get their overall financial goals and financial plans in order.
All righty. And I did ask the audience, I said, audience, let me know, just between us, just a private conversation between us. No one has to know, but let us know. People out there are like me and probably don't check their pensions off. Like, how often do you check them? So here's some of the answers we got. Sean Smith says he checked this when I left government. Well, when was that? Did you check it when you were with government, Sean? But that was his response. We've got Nicole Walker says, February or March, I check my pensions regularly, right? So these are some of the responses we got so far. Can you walk us through the top 5 areas people should check on their pension statement, but also how often do you think people should actually look at their pension statements?
Sure, and that's a great question. The majority of people that I speak with don't check their pensions on a regular basis, and you should check it at least once a year. And most pension plans are on an employee's portal. Then they have something like what you have at the bank. At the bank, when you look at your bank statement, you go online, look at that. The majority of providers don't mail out statements anymore, so you have to go on your employee portal. So when you look at your statement, you want to check, make sure your demographic information is correct, such as your name, date of birth, social insurance number. You want to check your contributions. Are your contributions being made? That's the amount you're putting into your pension plan. Make sure your employer is indeed taking them out of your paycheck and putting them in your plan. And you want to check your beneficiary information. That's important. Whoever you have down as your beneficiary is who we have to pay. So sometimes if people are at an employer for a long time, they forget to change the beneficiary and they can have life changes. As life happens, marriages, divorces, children. So people have to remember and look at their beneficiary information. And then their investment election. What have they chosen as their investment style? Many people that I speak to, or when I give employee sessions, they don't know what they're invested in. And this can have a detrimental effect if not in the right investment election when it comes time for retirement. So people check their statements at least once a year, maybe twice a year. Jamal, the majority of people are similar to you in that they either haven't checked it in years, even some haven't even checked it since they've been in the pension plan. So I want to encourage you to take a look at your pensions.
Yeah, I think it's quite. You said something just now. I have dealt with my mother's passing some years ago. One thing that stood out that you said just now is beneficiaries, right? Making sure you remember some people have been employed in places for 20, 25 years, right? And we don't even think to do that. So I really hope folks know that you can ask questions about your pensions. But that said, and just transitioning a bit, a lot of people feel kind of intimidated when it comes to speaking about pensions and investment terms. We had this conversation recently on the show. We have it quite often, actually. How can someone tell if they are in the right model for their goals? Like, speak to us about, some people they start the job, they sign up for their pension, the employer matches, they don't ask any questions. Speak to us about why they need to know and have those conversations with someone about the pension.
Sure, exactly. And that's true. And I get that feedback. Employees just get the enrollment form, pick something, or they pick, especially the younger people, their mother, their grandmother said, go in something guaranteed, go in something conservative. So as a young person, a lot of times they pick something very conservative, meaning that in a sense, it's not going to keep up with inflation. So they have to you have to know the risk tolerance. How much risk can you take? Do you get upset if the markets drop drastically? Do you even understand what that means? And when the markets drop, that means that the investments are on sale. Some people get excited. Some people sort of freak out and want to pull their money out. That's when they take a loss. So they really have to have a long-term outlook on what their retirement is going to look like. Typically, when people get to an later stage in life or closer to retirement or closer to needing their pension, then they get into something a little bit more conservative. Conservative means not as many stocks, maybe more bonds or fixed income as they get closer to retirement or needing their pension. There's also an investment strategy questionnaire that people can take to, and it gives them a guide as to what investment they should be in. And also they can talk to their advisor, and that will let them know, that will help guide them, because choosing that investment is really crucial for being on track towards retirement.
Audience, if you have any questions, you can send your questions and comments through. I will get to them in a few. So just hold tight. I'll get to the questions and comments in a few. Again, we got a job, our pension, employer matches, but then we don't even have questions like, how can we contribute more? Like, speak to that. How can someone who's interested contribute more towards the retirement through their pension plan?
Yes, and this is important. Pension legislation says basically 10% of the pension is going towards your retirement. 10% is the law. But based on what someone needs, they'll probably need more as they get to retire, more than that 10%. So they can make what is called additional voluntary contributions. So that's that amount above that which is required by law. And in order to do that, they just need to let their HR person know that they wish to make additional contributions. Usually they'll pick a percentage, an additional percentage, and it will come directly out of their paycheck. And you don't even miss it. You learn to live around that. And I've never had anyone who's retired and said they regret making additional contributions. Another way to to put more money aside for retirement is to open what we call an individual retirement plan. Some people have a lot of money sitting in their savings account, right? And we all know that savings accounts, they have their fees, but they don't have much interest. So if you want your money to work for you, then you really need to invest it. So we do have individual retirement plans that people, if they have a couple of $1,000 or more than 6 to 9 months worth of funds in their savings account, they need to invest that additional amount, and they can open up an individual retirement plan.
If someone looks at their pension statement and realizes or thinks they're not on track, what are some steps they can take?
Okay. If they're not on track, so first of all, what does that mean? Does it mean that they think their balance is too low, they're too close to retirement? Do they think they're in the incorrect investment strategy? So what they need to do is just pause a bit and figure out why they're not on track. And then they would need to make some decisions on ways to get back on track. For example, if they realize, oh my goodness, I'm in my 40s and been in a guaranteed account or money market account or very conservative account, I want my money to grow more, then they can change their investments and their investment election, get into something more aggressive. If someone is closer to retirement and in what we call an aggressive account, and they know they're going to need their money soon, they may want to change. They can take a step to change into something more conservative. They can always speak to a pension advisor at wherever their provider is. Freisenbruch offers those services as well. But they do need to just step back and look at why they're not on track and then figure out the next steps forward.
All righty. I want to go to the question from Sean Smith. Asks, are people able to select index funds as part of their pension makeup? Well, first, can you explain what an index fund is as you answer that?
Sure. So an index fund basically is something like what you hear the S&P 500 or something like that, and it basically follows an index and what it does in the market. So in a pension plan, there are mutual funds, and that can consist of some index funds within those mutual funds, because they have like stocks and bonds and some fixed income in some of the mutual funds. So yes, you can invest in that within the mutual funds.
All righty. This one always gets me. Someone leaves a company, right? What are pension options when a person either gets a new job? Can they transfer pension from one company to Freisenbruch? Does it stay there? Can they combine them? What does that look like?
Okay, so when a person's leaving a job, say not speaking about retirement, say they're going from one job to the next, or there's been a lot of redundancies, say someone's been made redundant or anything, they have 90 days to do something with their pension. So for 90 days, their pension will stay with their current employer, and within those 90 days, that person has to do something with it, which can be either transferred to a new employer or open up an individual retirement plan. If they don't do anything with their funds, and we have a lot of people that have not done anything with their money for that 90 days, that employer has to put their funds into a very conservative investment. So if someone's young and don't necessarily want to be in something conservative, they were aggressive, they didn't do anything with their funds, the provider has to put it in a very conservative investment. So if someone is leaving, they need to do something, either transfer to a new employer or open up an individual retirement plan for those funds.
All righty. Can you, I'm going to share this comment. Rishi Johnston says, might also be worth explaining that government employees are in a defined benefit plan, which works very differently than a defined contribution plan, which most private sector employees have. Can you just explain the difference for those who may not know?
Sure. So the defined contribution plan, yes, most employers in the private sector do have the defined contribution plan, where the employer contributes 5%, the employee contributes 5%, and the employee is responsible for the investments, and what they get at retirement is based on what they put in, the contributions they put in, as well as how their investments did, how their investments have grown. So they choose their investments. With a defined benefit plan, which the public sector has, government is also known as the superannuation fund. I believe the employee contributes, but the benefit is more so defined based on, they can use a calculation, it could be based on the last few years of salary or the highest years of salary. So the employer or the government makes the decision on how those funds are invested, and then the funds that they get at the end is based on that calculation, and not based on, in a sense, what they've put in, like the defined contribution plan.
Gotcha. Got quite a few questions coming through. We've got Nicole Walker asking, does it make sense to have more than one pension, i.e. maybe one aggressive and one more conservative, or just one pension to avoid paying admin fees on multiple pension plans?
Okay, that is a great question about the fees, because it's important. It's so very important to look at fees when you do have a pension plan. So if you have a pension plan with your employer, and it all depends, everyone's different. So that's a conversation. So some people would have their pension plan with their employer because that's mandated, and then they would open up a separate plan, and that's fine as well, because they have additional funds that they want to put into that plan, as opposed to having it in a savings account. So you do have to, I'm glad she brought that up, because you do have to look at the fees when you open up these individual accounts. So it's not unusual for people to have two plans at all. And yes, you can do that.
Alrighty. Michael Daniels asking, do you see any future changes to the way pensions are done to guarantee end results?
That's a difficult question. I'm not sure. That's probably a question for the pension commissioner, but I really can't address that. I'm not sure what will happen with that.
Indeed. Before you head out, if people want to learn more about their pension plans, especially those who are Freisenbruch, what's the best way to learn more, or maybe get in touch with someone? Should they go through the HR department for those who their jobs, or can they go directly? What would you advise the steps to take to communicate regarding the pension plans?
Sure. So if they want to learn more, they can reach out. If they're with Freisenbruch, they can reach out to us, reach out to me. My information is at the bottom of the screen. If they're with one of the other providers, they can reach out directly to that provider if they want to learn more. And usually the providers have advisors that can help advise them on looking at their pension, looking at the total picture, because it's not just the pension. When they speak with an advisor, they want to look at the total picture of their financial plan. So they can just reach out directly to their pension provider.
All right, Angela, thank you so much for the conversation. This was extremely helpful. Anything else you think people need to know? Like, just tell them, just check their pensions twice a month, right?
Yes. So, I want to leave with this. Everyone needs to look at their pension. Everyone should learn about investments. This is something that should be taught in schools. If there's any educators on the call that can implement this, this should be a requirement in school. Start at the primary school level, because many people don't know how to invest. They don't know how to make their money grow for them. I don't know the last time, we learn stuff in school like the Pythagorean theorem. I don't know the last time I've used that, right? But people need to learn how to make their money work for them. So I would say, even if it's not taught in the school, look at a YouTube, get a book or something on investments. You can chat GPT it, as we talked about with AI, and learn about investments for yourself, so you can make that money work for you.
Indeed. Angela, thank you so much for your time and the conversation this morning. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, folks, that was Angela Bruce-Heath from Freisenbruch. If you appreciated that conversation, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We've had 3 straight daily hour episodes of finance and investment conversations. Just thought about that. And it's all, as Angela just said, these things should be taught in school. We don't have these conversations enough. Think about it. The last 3 shows have literally been around the same thing. We need to have these conversations more frequently, folks. I'm grateful for it. We're going to take our final break. We'll come back. Got a daily play for you. Bermuda trivia question. You don't want to miss it. Stick with us. All right? We'll be back in 2 minutes, 46 seconds.
Yeah, I don't got this. I'm going to be fast to delivery on.
Oh, don't pay me enough for that,
Oh, no, sugar! Okay, who's the faster? Who's the fastest? It's me. Talk to me. No more stress. Just sit back.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Bermuda, there's nothing like a home-cooked meal, especially when you can feed the whole family without stretching your wallet. With the affordable Bermuda basket, you'll find savings on everyday staples like rice, chicken, corn, and more. Everything you need to make a good meal for less. Shop the Bermuda basket at Lindo's, Marketplace, the Garden Market, and the English Market. Visit costofliving.gov.bm to see the full list of goods and start planning your meals. This is a message from the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Life moves fast, and so can the unexpected. When you insure your home, you need to know that your insurance company has your back. At Freisenbruch, let one of our friendly and professional agents give you that peace of mind. Because when you are covered, you are confident. Call us at 296-3600 or visit freisenbruch.bm to learn more.
All righty, welcome back. Thanks again to Angela, Bruce-Heath, and everyone at Freisenbruch who continues to engage with us with such incredibly important information, folks. Big up to everyone over there. And also, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to the BAC group of companies, HSBC, Bermuda, Medical House, Linda's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 105, ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, again, I ask you all the time, don't forget to subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels, and just make sure you show us love on socials, help us beat the algorithms. Right now, it's time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Don't forget, I told you, hold on. I told you. I haven't even opened it, right? So I don't even know what's in here. I haven't opened it. You can see the plastic still on it. But Shoe Buy, the summer edition, is coming out soon. Again, I'm showing you 2 days in a row because I know the boss is asleep. She don't know I'm letting you all know. You all get insight. Go to BermudaTrivia.com, sign up, because like Shoe Buy, the original game, which will be returning with this, there will be limited edition, all right? There'll be a limited edition available, all right? So Shoe Buy Summer Edition. Go to BermudaTrivia.com. The Summer Edition is really cool. It's really fun. Like, yeah, I'll leave it at that, but it's really fun. So check it out. BermudaTrivia.com. Go over there and just sign up, I guess, on the contact form so you can know when it's being released. The stores continue to hit BCG up, saying when Shoe Buy the original going to be back. It'll be back when the summer edition's out. All right. But anyway, time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right. So remember when today. Very easy one, folks. Very easy. Let me get the timer ready. Very easy. Here we go. Who was the leader who led the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party to its third straight victory at the polls in 2007? Oops, hold on. No one got it. No, Alex Scott never contested an election as leader of the Progressive Labor Party. No, Dame Jennifer led the PLP to the first two victories. It was, in fact, Brown Ivies. It was, in fact, Dr. Ewart Brown Traveling Trotty. I thought that was an easy one. Yeah, so Dame Jennifer led the PLP to two victories in 1998 and 2003. And then after 2003 elections, she was replaced by the Premier Alex Scott. Premier Alex Scott did not make it to contest the general election as leader and was replaced in 2006 by former Premier Dr. Ewart Brown. Dr. Ewart Brown led the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party to the 2007 election. Yeah, you are correct. Yeah, I thought it was an easy one, but hey, nothing's easy these days, right? Folks, regarding the discussion earlier this morning, I'll say this much. I think there's no right or wrong answers with this. I just think it's about convenience. And if it's about convenience, then I think the people should always come before the elected officials. I think that's how most people would feel. Yes, premier and governor. Now, I'm not speaking about the individuals themselves, the positions, right? They needed new vehicles. But my concern is that Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting until things are broken down to replace them? We've got to do better. We have to do better. We must do better. All right, let's give you some daily inspiration. And this comes from the co-CEO of Ariel Investments, Melody Hobson. Ms. Hobson says, quote, financial literacy is not about wealth, but about understanding money regardless of the amount. It's about how you treat it and how you maximize opportunities, end quote. And I thought that was the perfect quote to choose due to the conversation with Angela Bruce-Heath this morning from Freisenbruch. Alrighty, audience, we've got to head out, got to let you go, but do not forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help grow Beyond the Mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamel, and please do make it a safe, a great day. We are out. Peace.